Without having a coaching package, you will find it hard to get paid. Start your notes off with that. It's very important because we all try to go out and trying to get clients and try to make things happen. But a lot of times when we don't have the confidence to put ourselves out there either consistently or put ourselves out there at all. And it's not that what we have isn't good. It's that we haven't taken the time to really think through how we want to present it to the world. And when you try to, when you say, all right, I want to be a coach and I want to change lives, whether knowingly or unknowingly, there's certain beliefs that you have that had stopped you from not already putting yourself out there, or not putting yourself out there consistently, or not putting yourself out there in a way that's going to give you more exposure. Right. Sometimes like, okay, well, I go to these little networking events, or I kind of do some things on the side with some friends and family, but I haven't really put myself online out there consistently like that. Right. So whatever it is not allowing you to make your impact in the way you want to make it, and not allowing you to generate this type of revenue. So when I come across folks, it's some type of belief. Like I had this one lady that I was talking to, and she said, well, I haven't been starting this over the last few years because I'm not certified. I'm like, what do you mean you're not certified? She said, no, to become a coach, you need to be certified. And because I'm not certified yet, I don't quite feel ready. So I'm going back to school to do this and do that, and, do this for the life coaching. And I said, you do realize you don't actually have to be certified. I said, it's not like, being a therapist where, you have to, it's regulated through the state, and, you got to be certified to do it. I said, if you see people with their own certification programs, that means that they're certifying you through whatever process they have, but that's not a regulation to really start calling yourself a coach and helping people. And she was like, really? That is interesting. I did not know that. Right. And that was something that was holding her back for years, because she thought she had to be ready to take like some certification, like it's like the state bar, right? Like I got to get ready for this bar, right? I got to go to school. And that's how she was approaching jumping into the coaching industry. And whether you believe that or not, a lot of times we come to this coaching industry with false assumptions, and that stops us or slows our progress down from making that type of impact. Which is interesting, right? And you don't know what you don't know, because a lot of times you don't have a coach, which I didn't have a coach at first neither, but thank God I got one eventually, right? So I went from, okay, I can help you, you should do it, and I'm inspiring you and motivating you to take what's out your heart and what's out of your mind and your experience and go do this. That was all I can help you with at the time. Then I said, okay, I know how to put together like a little package or something, so I could work with you on creating your program. So then my messaging started saying, hey, not only should you do this, but look, this is how you put together a program to be able to do this. So then I started helping people with up until that point. And then I said, okay, listen, you got to get people to see what that to know who you are. They want to join that program. So then I started talking to them about, okay, well, this is how you get exposure, right? This is how you put out content. This is how you get on stages. This is how you get, you do collaborations, right? This is how you get people to find you and be interested when they come across your page. So then I started talking about how to actually start getting more exposure. So now I got all of this experience to help people with, right? So then I started saying, okay, well then how do you start? Then I started teaching people how to generate leads. Right. And then, okay, well, you got all this exposure, but I know a lot of people that got way more followers than me, hundreds of thousands of followers or millions, and they come to me for advice because they don't know how to monetize their followers. Right. So now it's all right. I can show you how to actually get people to be attracted to you and actually want to have those conversations. And then, oh, by the way, I can show you how to monetize and get your first client. And then, oh, by the way, I can show you how to make your first couple thousand. And then, oh, by the way, I can show you how to make 6 figures. Right. So all of that was that was years of progression. Couple things in terms of like how to actually like what you should actually include as part of your package. One, make sure that you have a good idea on what are the specific deliverables you're giving people. A lot of times we want to have a coaching program, but we don't know the deliverables, meaning what is somebody really paying for, and not only just what they're paying for, but what is the result. So start off with the the result first. So let's start there, really. Start off with the result that I'm helping somebody get. And the result is like, think of the result as, if you think of a recipe, you have the ingredients, and the ingredients add up to the recipe, right? So if you're baking a cake, I got the eggs, I got the flour, I got the sugar. You got all of the things that go into as the recipe, and the end result is the cake. Think about the cake. Your program gets them to the cake, and all of the things you can help them with are the ingredients that go into the cake. Does that make sense? Everybody put "makes sense" in the chat if that makes sense, right? So you got to get clear on, well, what is the cake that I'm getting them in terms of my coaching program? And then you focus on, what are the deliverables? Put deliverables. Everybody put deliverables in the chat. So now you focus on, what are they actually getting? What is my coaching program? Like, what is the transformation that they're going to be going through? What are they getting? You know, how often are we meeting? What other programs, features, resources, books, worksheets, whatever they're getting, like, and there's no right or wrong to it. It's about you sitting down and saying, what is going to give them the best experience? Now, obviously, you know, if we working together, I'm going to tell you what the best practice is in terms of like how to really construct it based on what your niche is. And I can give you some good ideas on that. But at the end of the day, is you putting together a program that's going to help them get the fastest result. Cool. And then now you talk about, okay, what is the price going to actually look like? High ticket pricing typically starts at around $2,000 a month. So you got to determine, do I want to charge high or do I want to charge low? I don't think it's a right or wrong, but I think that it serves you a lot better to go high, because you spend the same amount of time speaking to people, regardless of how much you're talking, how much you're charging. And when you charge more, you actually have more resources to make the program better. Not necessarily you using it because you want to, just make all the money in the world, which is great. It's fine. Like you'll make a lot of money as a coach, but realize that you want to take some of that investment to make a great program so your people can have a better experience. And that is how you really go to the next level. Really decided to start taking it seriously is when I started getting coaching. When I started getting coaching consistently, a little over 12 months, I went from 0 to 6 figures. Now, how did I really do that? Is because I had the right guidance and the right mentorship. And then once that happened, I started helping more people. So now we're in a place that just impacted over 1.2 million people online with my content over the last year. I'm helping, God knows how many people, right? Or, just globally with my content. I coach hundreds of people each and every month. Having 40K plus months. Now, I don't say that, to say, beat on my chest and say, look at me, but just to know that I started where a lot of us starting at right now. And it wasn't until I got the guidance and the mentorship that really helped me go to the next level, and I stopped spinning my wheels. So when does advertisements come into play with your program? So first things first is that you don't advertise something that you don't have ready to be sold yet. That's number one. It has to be ready to be sold. So that's equivalent to saying I'm thirsty. I turn on the faucet to get some water, and I put my cup under the faucet, but it has a big hole on the bottom, right? Am I going to be able to drink any water? No, all of the water is going out the bottom of the cup. So it's the same thing, is that you don't pour money into advertising, whether it's Facebook ads or whatever. You don't pour money into that, because all you're doing is sending people into a broken system. Does that make sense? And you don't want to ruin your reputation. You don't want people to say they didn't have a good experience. By any means, you don't be a perfectionist, but you got to at least have what we call the MVP, which is a minimum valuable product. You at least have to be able to take money. You have to at least be able to know what your curriculum looks like. You got to at least be able to know where they could have a place where they can have their resources. You got this, so there's certain minimum things you have to have in place. Not all of the bells and whistles, but the minimum you got to have in place. So when somebody spends their money with you, they can at least be served in a good way. Will it be more profitable to coach and employ one's own kids and nephews and nieces and family in general? Good question. So you can, yeah, absolutely. I've actually hired my niece before. So my niece now, she's probably like 24, 25, I want to say. And but literally when she was a teenager, right? Like I hired her maybe when she was around like 18 or something like that. Like I hired her, right? And this was before I was able to like pay for people to be on my team. Like a lot of us, we talk about virtual assistants and all of that. You can hire family members. Realize that obviously, you know, if they're good, that's great. You know, but a lot of times they might not be exactly the way that you want it. But having somebody to help you is better than having nobody. Is it a requirement? No, because you need to know every part of the business yourself anyway. But if you're gonna bring on people and friends and family, absolutely. I had my cousin. My cousin worked for me for 2 years completely free. I didn't pay him a dime. I asked him about it on a Thanksgiving one day, and he said, "Yo, Rel, I just knew that you were gonna be successful one day. I knew that you were gonna help a lot of people one day. I see the vision, and I saw the vision, and that's why I wanted to help you." And I was so blessed by that because he believed in me so much so that he worked for me for 2 years. He's basically my assistant for 2 years for free. So absolutely, if you get him to do it, do it. But then at some point, obviously, you want to start getting people with higher level skill sets, unless they're the person to be that. But you can definitely start off with that. Good question.